Quest 2 sometimes has a problem with lighting. Are you someone out there who wants to play your Quest 2 in the dark? Are you someone who wants to just have enough light no matter where you're at, you don't have to worry about lighting? Do you want to try to take it outside? KKCOBVR claims that this infrared illuminator will allow you to play in the dark. Big claims from a tiny package. Let's open this up. $30 is what this is gonna set you back. This is the KKCOBVR I2 infrared illuminator for the Quest 2. And wow, that is not much to it. We got 3 little bits. We've got a USB-C to USB-C. We've got the actual illuminator, which has a USB-C on it already. And we got a USB-C to USB-A. So this thing does not seem to have an internal battery. It is made to run off either your Quest power supply, but it claims it's not gonna use up much of its power, or you can plug it into a power brick somewhere with one of these fun little adapters, plug it into the wall and have that illuminating your room. Supposedly, you might even be able to use this to turn your Quest 2 into a set of night vision goggles. Let's kill the lights and do some infrared testing. Well, you can probably barely see me because there's a tiny bit of sunshine coming through right now, but not enough for the Quest 2 to really work. I'm just seeing little dots everywhere. So I'm gonna turn this thing on from here and see, can I see in a dark room suddenly? I mean, God, it is pretty dark in here, and this is working pretty well. I am surprised so far. I did not expect what seems to be a pretty flawless experience here.
It looks like a flashlight on the IR camera, dude.
When I go into Passthrough, I'm really seeing around the room. Like it's not as bright as normal Guardian, like when you're just seeing through Passthrough, but it's pretty shocking. Hand tracking, not gonna work very well in this environment. It can't distinguish because it's basically seeing the infrared light shining off my hands, everything. It can't really distinguish well. It's somewhat doing it, but it's not working great. They keep disappearing in and out. Okay, I keep pulling the headset up because I keep thinking there must be light in the room. This is actually way better than I expected. I don't believe this so far. What the frick? Let's stop it here and turn the lights back on. Whew. Light is back. Oof. I hate to say this. The main reason that coming into this, I wasn't very certain, obviously besides its size, is this thing's $30. You can buy like a infrared floodlight for like 20 bucks on Amazon. You can set that up in the corner and never have to worry about it. But you get portability with this. Is that worth another $10? I don't know. We're gonna do a little bit more testing and get back at you in a few, so we'll be right back. It's been a roller coaster testing this thing out. We first got in, I saw the box and I was like, I don't know. And then we tried it in here and it was overperforming way above my expectation. Took it back, did a whole lot more testing. Let's talk about it. So something that did surprise me, you are blocking your charging port by putting this thing in here, but it has pass-through charging. So I can just plug my battery strap in, or if you have a battery strap, you plug it in and it's back to charging your Quest as normal. That just plugged right into the back of the little IR light instead of into the side. I did test and it does not provide data. So if you want to pull a video off your Quest that you did, you're still gonna have to unplug this whole thing. So that would have been really impressive if it had done data transfer through it. Now it says it's got 2 settings, one 15 to 20 meters squared. You use number 1. You're in a room 30 to 40 meters squared, you use setting 2. That sounds big, but it's not huge. Your normal size living room, this room we're in, which is kind of small, it works really well. I tried to take it in my 2-car garage, not nearly enough light to use it. If you're in a single car garage, you could probably get away with it. Another important note, and this came out after some prolonged testing, I actually left for a trip and I left this sitting there with the IR light plugged into it, not on a charging dock, just sitting there with the headset off. And when I came back, the red light was on and the battery was down to 1%. Now, in testing with this turned on while you're playing, you don't really notice any more power drain than normal from playing. It doesn't consume much power, but I suspect that it is constantly draining a tiny bit of power even when the light isn't on. That's the only conclusion I come to, because this had like 60% when I left and then it was down to 1 by the time I came back, which is not normal for a headset. It's a consideration if you're someone who leaves your headset sitting around for a week at a time and doesn't use it. So one more thing to think about, it does do its job well enough, and for the price it gives you the ability to take it around and travel, but remember those caveats I mentioned just in case. 30 bucks is a lot, but it does do everything it claims here, and I am surprised about that. If you really want infrared light and you have only one room you're gonna do it in all the time, you can get one on Amazon, 20 bucks even for some of them. I'll leave a link in the description of that. I will also leave a link to this though, because if you're someone who wants to be able to take your headset in your bedroom next to your partner at night and watch something while you're in bed next to them, but it's dark in the room, this will work. And you can take it back out to your living room and it'll work there too. You still might consider using this more as supplementary light, not necessarily the only light, because in the darkness, you might have an issue. You might hold your hand in front of it too long and lose tracking. Something can go wrong. I did test it a lot and I really tried putting things in front of it. It was pretty hard to get it to give up. It held the tracking way better than I would have thought it did. Thank you so much for coming out. Do any of you out there have an IR Illuminator? Do you have a big one in the corner you really like? I'd love to hear in the comments about it, and I may link that one instead if it's something that you really like. So thank you for coming out, and I will see you in another reality.